Hello, Internet. This is Chase Wassenaar, and welcome to the Rough Drafts Competes Journey of Wrestling League. It is the 11th month of weeklies. That is right. It is our last month of weeklies before we get into our final gold pay-per-view of this competition. The top of the charts could not be closer. Xander currently in the lead, 9.5 points. I am right behind him at 8.5 points. Eduardo with 6.75 points could beat me out for second place if I am not careful. And Walter has half a point and the title of narrative champion that legally we have not found a way to take off of him. I've talked to some people to see what's going on there, and it seems to be pretty airtight. So we'll see how all that goes. But the weeklies are another opportunity. It is another chance to prove yourself, at the very least secure a half a point by being at the top of the scoring standings. And I am here with the man who is currently in the lead, who would love nothing more than to see me fall flat on my face this week. How you doing, Xander?
Listen, I'm fantastic because there's only two things to score left, and I'm still in first. And even though you're in second, Eduardo's doing really well. And so if he wants to win the next two events and still not beat me, but make sure that you don't win, that's also fine. So I've got a lot of paths to victory here, and yours are becoming very narrow. And it's for all of those reasons that I'm having a great time.
Man, I'm so happy for you. You know, that's really the thing.
Yeah. I know you're really enjoying this for me.
You've put me in a position where I can't root for Eduardo, who won the last pay-per-view and should be very proud of his scores, and who I think has a very fun card ahead. I'm not going to let you pit us against each other. The truth is, as long as you don't win, I maintain an opportunity. The problem is I think that you've solved the meta from a scoring perspective. And that is terrifying. But we don't start with the craziness that you have in store for us, Xander. We start with the Stamford Wrestling Alliance. We start with Walter's company, and they've had quite the random event here, which I'm just going to point out here. Some real bullshit coming out of the random events. 5 different wrestlers now suspended for a month, including one who was meant to be in one of the main title pictures for this pay-per-view. So, I don't know. That just feels like a thing you don't have to do, game. It feels a little hard.
Well, I just want to say, Johnny Hangtime sends his regards.
Oh, Johnny was the one who poured them too much alcohol? Made sure they got super drunk on the plane and made some mistakes?
Johnny may or may not have had a hand in it. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Absolutely incredible. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. I've been around. I've seen how many times you have flown to various competitors' houses in order to give them a piece of your mind. So the idea that Johnny would do the same is by no means surprising. But in any case, I just wanted to start this by saying Walter's been dealing with some bullshit. But I think he's made a cool card out of it, and I'm excited to share that with you. So, shall we jump on in?
Let's get into it.
Well, tonight on SWA Primetime, we open with a match between the Kingdom and Short. Seb Ashton, one of the key members of the Kingdom trio that held the belt for several months, was among the wrestlers suspended. So they don't have their standard trio to fight to get the belt back. Seeing that, Drew King, the leader of the Kingdom, stepped up and said he's willing to help his trio have that opportunity, ensure they're still able to compete for that match. And despite that great idea, Ethan Wilde called Walter and said that Wessie and the Killas are ready to compete for the trio's belt as well, especially now that one of the key challengers got suspended. And Walter says, you know what? Okay, you're both going to get a match here tonight. And the winner of this match will earn a spot for the trio's title. The Neon Lads aren't here, right? They're recuperating. But whoever wins this match gets to compete at Winter Zone. So you have Wesley Lee Morris, who is the big bully, the muscle of Short, and the Killas, their key tag team, versus 2/3 of the former title holders for the Kingdom, Ryan Gill and Bryce Sun, and their faction leader, Drew King. So the question is, who's getting the win tonight, Xander?
Man, no one. No one's getting the win tonight. Because this is the SWA, and the people that should be here getting wins aren't here to get them. So
Interesting.
Yep, I vote no one.
You vote. You think this is like? Do you like? Are you rooting for a
Dou-
tie, or are you
double?
rooting
Yeah,
for...
I'm rooting for a double pin.
Okay, that is a very interesting prediction, and I appreciate the energy that you're bringing to the table. That said, you are absolutely incorrect. Chort is winning this match. Of course, Chort is winning this match. Are you kidding me? It's Chort. I wrote that down before Walter told me who was winning this match. That's Wesley Morris and the Killers. What more are you asking for? It's 5.25-star match. Starts a total war feud between the Kingdom and Chort. You seem stunned by what to me felt like a very obvious result.
Yeah, I mean, sure. You could Chort winning. Yeah, blah blah blah. Nope, I win. I win because double pin should have happened and it didn't. And there's no holy shit moment. So.
But if it had been a double pin, who would have earned the spot? Like, this gives us a nice match. The Neon Lads versus Chort. You're not excited for that?
I mean, I guess I'm a little excited.
That seems fun. That seems fun.
But, I would have preferred different Chort members, that's all.
Who else is in Chort that you were looking forward to?
Am I crazy? M16 Algenico? No?
They're Eterna, my friend. That's why they're feeding the Killers for so long.
I'm griefing. Disregard.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, you have your own company's lore to keep up with. I'm here to keep up with everybody's lore. As
my brain is fried today. It's fine. I go with excuses.
Well, hopefully you won't need any excuses when we get to your card later tonight. But for now, we move on. And this focuses on a couple moments of the Ethan Wild versus Chase match. 4.5 stars for a recap package. That is fascinating. I don't think we've ever seen a recap package that high. But this recap package focuses very specifically on where the injury may have occurred. We saw that Chase is out for 3 to 5 months with his injury. And looking through it, we can see he probably got injured a lot earlier in that match than we initially realized. And I just want to take a moment here to give him a round of applause for sticking through it and pushing through the match despite that pain. I think it speaks to his strength as a competitor, and I hope that he gets well soon, because you hate to see someone who has a real chance to do something special, even if he wasn't going to win that match. And who can say what happens if he doesn't get injured? But even if he wasn't going to win, I think the fact that he powered through as much as he did and put on the quality of show that he did says a lot about his character. Is that a fair statement, heel announcer of mine?
Nope, trash.
I feel like you've really just gotten used to cutting right to the heart of things.
Yeah, garbage. Go next.
Well, you know who I think would agree with you? Ethan Wild. This says he's out to the ring. Don't worry about that. Ethan Wild has made a little bit of like a setup for himself. He is sitting in a nice plush armchair in an otherwise candlelit room, looking dead on into the camera and laughing with the belt on his lap as he strokes it Dr. Evil style. I'm talking full cartoon Bond villain in this moment. And he says, "I'm so sorry, Chase. It was never my intention to hurt you as badly as I did. I just had to teach you a lesson and send a message to the rest of the locker room. In all honesty, Chase, I wanted to face you at Winter Zone. I think we could have come up with something magical if we had one more match together. Unfortunately, your shoulder is hurt, and you won't be there for quite some time. I asked Wesley to send some flowers in a gift basket on behalf of Chort. I hope you got them, but I'm going to miss you. I mean that." But out with the old and in with the new, and unfortunately, there is no new. Everyone's off doing their own thing. I mean, I was worried that Daniel Stevenson would interfere with our match just like he got in your way the last time that we battled. But he got himself suspended, just like Axel Dust did, your tag partner. So it's not like he's going to get revenge on me. And you know, I don't think management has treated me with the same courtesy that they give other champions, like Cobra Gaston, for instance, or Christopher Devlin, or the Empress Kabuki. It notes here, he kind of shrugs at Cobra, like, yeah, Cobra too, I suppose. They're able to take time off certain pay-per-views when they don't have a good challenger. And maybe that's what I need to do at Winter Zone. Maybe I don't have to defend my title because the greatest competitor I've ever fought is sitting in a hospital room right now. And the other two options may not even be in the company in a month. But hey, maybe someone will surprise me. But I doubt it. And it cuts to black, and it's just the candles that are left, and Ethan Wilde with a fucking Cheshire cat grin. So how you feel about... Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Turns out, Ethan Wilde, cool heel. Fun character to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I will say, Ethan, I didn't get the gift basket, so hopefully that'll... I'm sure Wesley just got it lost in the mail. I'm sure it'll be here any day now.
Any day.
We move on. Consequencia versus Mei Fukushima. The first time they fought was a couple weeks ago in that qualification match for a chance to take on Maestra Gomez for the title, the Mildred S. Robinson Cup. Now, Mei and Heiko Haruka teamed up last month on a weekly episode to beat Telenovela, with Consequencia ultimately getting pinned. And we saw at the pay-per-view Consequencia causing a bit of a distraction to help Maestra get a win that Maestra was not asking for. She seemed almost frustrated that Consequencia felt the need to intervene when she had things fully under control. So here's Consequencia trying to prove herself, right? That she has what it takes, that she is not a liability to her tag partner in Telenovela, and that she deserves a shot at the title compared to someone like Mei Fukushima. So the question is, do you believe in Consequencia getting her first singles win? Or do you think Mei Fukushima gets the edge in this match?
I think it is going Consequencia.
Why do you believe in Consequencia?
Because there are consequences.
You believe that the Consequencia because there are consequences. I like the way you think. There are some consequences. And the consequence is the Consequencia is going to cheat to win.
Huge.
Yes. It does give Consequencia a big overness change. I think the fans love hating a cheater right here. It is only a 3.5-star match. That was always a danger with Mei Fukushima as a 2-star. But that's okay. It's going to get dropped. There have been 3 much better segments already on this card. And it gets Consequencia's gimmick a little bit more over. Very clearly, you have found her on the back foot, incapable of taking the lead and winning on her own. And I think it might be nice to get the win. It might be nice to move forward and get closer to competing against Maestra. But I think Maestra Gomez might be tired of these antics. And if Consequencia can't prove herself without having to cheat to get there, who knows how long that relationship's going to last. But we move on now. It's an after-match attack, and it is Trixie Albright doing the attacking against Consequencia. She is furious because even though Maester Gomez won clean, Consequencia did cause a distraction in that match, which was bullshit. She was unfairly involved, and it created an environment that made it very difficult for Trixie to give her all. And I think she sees Consequencia going out and cheating once again and says that's not acceptable. So I'm coming for you. And she gets in the attack. Consequencia obviously tired from the match she just wrestled, not able to really fight back. Eventually, Mei Fukushima will like pull Trixie away to prevent her from going too far. But this is the kind of aggression we have not seen from Trixie Albright in the past. How are you feeling seeing her get off this after-match attack?
Trixie's a random.
I think you cut out for me after saying
Oh.
Trixie's a random, unless that's really all you had to say.
No, I said Trixie's a random. Who cares?
Oh, well, I mean, I care. She's the star in the making. She performed in insert hometown here.
Random.
Wow. Well, I don't think Consequencia is feeling the same way as of right now, and I do think that after-match attack working out well for Walter. A nice 13 points to that feud, and we will see what that means moving forward. But we move on to a qualifier match for Cobra Gaston's Theodore Vincent Heritage title. Walter, when I asked him to explain this match, he said, look, these four wrestlers haven't had a shot at anything recently, right? We've got four heels here, each of which have an opportunity to prove how good they are. And who knows, if they do their job and they win this match and set themselves apart from the other competitors here, they could be in a title match. This is their opportunity. And for Kenji Sabre, obviously, it would be a big one, right? We saw him betray Eternum to join Made in Japan. Now that Eternum is no more, he's really solidified himself with his manager, Kaito Sakura. Would love nothing more than to prove himself in a spot like this. Rick Dolan, of course, was once a 3-3, dropped down a little bit on the overness side of things. He's a little bit older in years, but that means he's only got a few more opportunities to really prove himself and make a legitimate title run. Alexander Palmer, the loyal knight, the big match specialist, the tag team specialist, a man who has not gotten a singles win yet, but clearly, as we can see from those scores, has a ton of potential if given an opportunity. And we have Thomas Austin, who has been on the rise very recently and has an opportunity to really step up in this match. The 26-year-old, kill me before I kill you. That is the right attitude to carry into a match like this. And you can see this is the kind of thing you love, Xander. Lots of interlacing feuds. All of these guys believe that they should be seen as the best heel, that they should be the main eventer that is given love, that is given an opportunity. So I ask you now, of these four names, who do you think is most deserving of the victory here?
I think it's going to be Alexander Palmer.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't suck.
You're out on 4 threes now? I feel like you've got
It's okay too, but Alexander, between Alexander Palmer and Thomas Austin, Alexander needs it more. And any kind of narrative you want to build here should be built with someone that doesn't suck. So Kenji Sabre and Kaito can, take a hike. And Rick Dolan, why is he even in this conversation?
Well, I'll admit I kind of feel similarly to you on Rick Dolan, but for Kenji Sabre, who is winning this match, I refer you to his previous attacks, his willingness to do whatever it takes. It clearly didn't work. It was a 3.5-star match.
I was going to say, you refer me to his 3.5-star match. Got it.
I mean, I blame Rick Dolan personally. That's the guy I blame for pulling things down. But I do believe that Kenji, he's great on the mic. He's very charismatic. I believe with his 3-star at 19 years old, he's got opportunities, man. I believe in Kenji Sabre in the long run. It didn't work tonight, but I don't think that's on him. It is unfortunately just a 3.5-star match. In between that,
No, I'm gonna blame him. He sucks. Get good.
Well, I guess I can't stop you from that, but
Yeah, correct.
at the same time, I'm still believing in the first third of this card. We will see if Walter can bounce back with these last few slots.
He can't.
It is. You're really
I'm
bullying a
sorry.
man
I'm
who
sorry.
has done
I'm
nothing.
done. I'm done.
You saw how badly the game fucked him over, and you're just like, let me get some salt in them eyes, man. Let me just throw some sand over here. Make it hurt.
Enjoy the sand in your bathing suit, Walter, when you put it on next.
Wow. Well, look, this is a caught segment, so clearly he's doing something right on this one. Angelina Cardinal has come down to the ring and has called out Psycho Sahana and says, well, Psycho, you got my attention. You wanted my undivided attention. It's all yours. Because you had the audacity to not just once, but twice ruin my match. You are a coward who is unwilling to face me in the ring on fair grounds, but is happy to try to destroy the people that I care about and destroy my opportunities. So you know what? I'm going to make sure that you never hurt another person in this company again. And I think that's a fun segment. I like what she's doing here. I like pushing the feud hot. That's obviously a huge push. It's a nice solo feud promo, and I think can lead to some fun things down the line.
It sure could. It sure could. Probably won't, but it sure could.
I feel like the longer we have done this competition, the more you are just absolutely a hater. And I'm not saying that as a negative. I've got enough positive energy for the both of us, but it is pronounced.
I mean, maybe.
Well, you could.
I'll just leave it at that. I don't.
Yeah, you can sit with that for a bit. I'm going to move on to the next match, which is Strong Style versus Down Under. Because this tag team division understands that after Winter Zone, there's going to be a new number one contender against either Hollywood Bound or Prodigious, right? So what you need to do right now, if you understand that, is make sure that your team is as high ranked as possible and push your biggest rivals down as much as you can so that you make sure you're the number one spot when the dust settles at Winter Zone, right? And so you have Down Under, who are furious that they weren't on the pay-per-view, given their former title reign. You know, they had such a good streak to start off their time in this company. They struggled for a bit to find their footing after Hollywood Bound took them down. And it has been a rough stretch for a bit. But they finally got a win on one of the last weeklies before the last pay-per-view. And in their mind, were ignored. So they're here to prove themselves, remind everyone why they were the first tag champions in this company and why they should be number one contenders. But in the meantime, you've got Strong Style, Shohei Hirano and Kenzo Nai from Made in Japan. These are incredible tag performers, but they haven't really wrestled as tag members all that often recently, right? They had some early matches where they had a couple good wins to start and then took a couple small losses in major matches. But it's been a while. They've been focused more on their solo stuff, and this is them coming together and saying, hey, our best bet is to work together, be that number one contender, and take the belt from whoever wins at Winter Zone. So between these two tags, Xander, who do you believe in? Who do you believe should get the win?
Yeah, no, I actually do believe in one of these teams, and that's Strong Style. I think Strong Style are looking strong. I think they should come away with the dub, and Down Under can, go back down under the mat, the ring, where they belong. Out of sight, out of mind.
Luckily, you know how much Walter likes heels, so Strong Style are indeed winning this match. It's a 4.5-star match, which you love to see, and I believe
it's a hot match.
It pushes the feud hot here.
Mm-hmm.
Down Under Strong Style going to get some more room to keep wrestling
Keep
against
scrolling.
each other.
Nope, no holy shit
No
moment.
holy
That's
shit
my bad.
moment. Yeah, you
I
were
wasn't prepared for him to give it to Strong Style, so that's my bad.
very rude of you. But I'm going to say
Yeah.
this. You better give him a holy shit moment on this last match because
Oh.
it's his last match of the night, and
Mhm.
Devontae Harrell's involved in an Iron
Oh
Man
man.
match against Kyle
Well,
Lucha. And this is the second of 2 qualifier matches for the number 1 contender slot for the Theodore Vincent Heritage title. We saw Kenji Saber take the first slot. So now we have 2 faces between Devontae Harrell and Kyle Lucha, both fighting to be that number 2. We've seen Devontae Harrell. He's been making more of a singles push recently. He has been putting himself in matches against high-tier competitors, pushing himself to be the best he can be. And Kyle Lucha, we've seen in some title matches in the past. He's in the conversations always, but he has yet to fully make that leap, and this would be a huge opportunity for him. I know what you're going to say, but I need you to say it for the sake of the folks at home. Who are you picking for this match?
I'm picking for this match the one man, the one and only, the man with Tyson Morriso standing next to him, the man that looks like he can take on anything, and that's Devontae motherfucking Harrell.
It is indeed Devontae Harrell, and it's a 4.5 star match. It's a 5-4 score. Kyle Lucha keeps it close. A lot of points scored over the course of this Iron Man, but at the end of the day, it's a strong performance. No holy shit moment, huh?
Nah, unfortunately, he made it an Iron Man match, so
Why is that? Do you not like Iron Man matches?
I mean, not for this. Actually, a good wrestler, and that this was close when it shouldn't have been.
Wow. Wow, this is getting a lot more pedantic than I expected from you on a Devontae Harrell victory.
Very happy about Devontae Harrell winning, but the fact that he's up against like a random like Kyle Lucha,
Wow.
and that Kyle Lucha gets to have a close match with him for no reason whatsoever, when Devontae Harrell should just be absolutely demolishing, running through this guy. Yeah.
Man, it's a shame there's not an Olympics for haterdom because you would be a top contender.
Mm.
It is a 4.5 star card.
I am in fact good at everything I do, Chase. So yeah, that sounds accurate.
Especially your humility. You're really number one.
I'm
that.
I'm the most humble, guy I know.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
extraordinarily
you have
humble.
always said that. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a 4.5 star. I think maybe with a 5-star match here, which I was expecting Iron Man to do a little bit better given the quality of wrestlers and the quality of that particular gimmick type, but
It's really Kyle Lucha's fault, honestly, for bringing the quality of the entire card down with his terrible performance.
I mean, I don't have a counter argument in this specific situation, unfortunately. But I
Well,
do.
Devontae Harrell is perfect and would do nothing wrong, so it's really on Walter for letting this one slide.
Well, at the very least, we know we're going to have Devontae Harrell versus Kenji Saber come up. We love what we saw with Angelina Cardinal. I think that's going to be great.
Can't wait for him to run through that guy too.
We'll see. We'll see what Walter has in mind there. I do like the injury gloat from Ethan Wild. I think there's a lot of fun stuff happening.
Oh, injury gloat is that's a fantastic segment. I cannot wait to steal it.
Oh, I've already done it. Why didn't you want to steal it from me when I got 5 stars with it?
I didn't have injury gloat, to be honest, but I liked the. I don't know. This one stood out to me a little more. I don't know.
Fair.
Maybe you should have done yours better. That's all.
I do think the writing from Walter was top notch, and that's why he's the narrative champion.
Yep.
Really fun segment, some really fun stuff.
And thank you for giving me an extra opportunity to dunk on you there. I appreciate that also.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to set myself up for those, because that's what I need as we cut into Magically Enhanced. I did finish third in that last pay-per-view. You, Eduardo, and I were tied, but Eduardo won on hype. And I lost on hype at the end of the day. Something I am still reeling from, especially because I feel like I could have had a much better last card on the last set of weeklies and maybe gotten a full point there, and I wouldn't be stressed so much. about this last set here. But you know what? It's fine. Because at the end of the day, I have a plan. I've got some people that I'm very excited to pump up. I've got some faction feuds. I'm going to continue to build some faction feuds that I am waiting to pay off until the pay-per-view. But it is going to be an incredible build-up to this gold pay-per-view. I'm excited to show you exactly what I have in mind. So let's just jump right into it with a street fight match between Cyan Orion and Emu Emiko. And I do legally have to pronounce it that way because you are still in the lead in the overall scores. And look, as you know, Xander, Cyan Orion's plans at Hell's Rebuke backfired terribly. She was baited by Mistress Jade into entering the Arcane Artificer tournament, and she got bounced in the very first round, only to then enter the Battle Royale at the Hell's Rebuke and lose rather early on, which are some tough pills to swallow, especially when staying the course and not taking Mistress Jade's bait would have led to a title match between her, as part of Shooting Stars, and Light and Shadow, which is Emu Emiko's tag team with Kagetsu. And Emu comes out to the center of the ring to mock Cyan for her failings and give her an offer. You can come down to the ring, and if you defeat me right now, in front of everybody here, I will still give you that tag team title shot you're looking for. But if you lose, you have to move on. So the question is, are you a coward, or are you ready to come out and fight? And you can see backstage Malachite trying to tell Cyan to calm down, that she doesn't need to take this bait. This is a trap, and she knows it. And Cyan just ignores her tag partner and comes out to the ring because her pride is on the line. She's the final boss of superstardom. She can't hear Emu make a challenge like that and just let it linger. Like, that's okay. She is here to compete. She is here to prove herself. And while Emu might be the tag champion, this is a singles match. And Cyan Orion, in her mind, has all of the tools she needs to win just as much as Emu does. So the question is Cyan right? And will Shooting Stars get their chance to challenge Light and Shadow at the next pay-per-view, a future site? Or does Emu Emiko shut down Cyan Orion and crush the tag team dreams that Shooting Stars are trying to build forward?
Man, you're asking me to root against Emu here for Cyan. Who cares? That was a terrible one. I can come up with something better than that.
Do you need a second? Do you need to?
Let's see. Cyan. No, I got nothing right now. I'll come up with something better later.
It's what you were looking for was Cyan Orion.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yes, Cyan Orion. Or I was just gonna say I don't know. The Scion from League of Legends, but not piloted by anybody good.
So me, I get it.
Yeah, your Scion. That's right, exactly. It's your Scion versus the Emu Emiko. It's gonna be Emu. She's the GOAT. She's the sister of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Mm-hmm. If you make her lose right now, I'm going to bring her to my promotion next year.
Well, I'm not going to let that happen regardless, but I don't need to worry about it because Emu does win this match. And it's a 4.5-star match. It pushes the feud hot, which I will take as a win, though I don't love that it was only 4.5 stars. Hopefully we can do better as the show goes on. But Emu indeed wins this match, and not only wins, but crushes Cyan in this match. It is not particularly close. Not because Cyan Orion isn't willing to do her best, but Emu is the monster that, as you pointed out, very much in the family genes. They're both incredible wrestlers, and Emu proves it tonight. And we cut to backstage, and Malachite Bronson, Cyan's tag partner, absolutely furious because for the second month in a row, Cyan has chosen her destiny for her and failed. And that's a tough pill to swallow if you're Malachite Bronson, someone who is still trying to climb into the main event. One of 3 remaining wrestlers who is not a main eventer in my company, which is an incredible but absolutely true stat. Everyone's a main eventer except for Malachite Bronson and 2 other people, one of whom I think we'll get to later on this card. And Tijuana King is backstage cackling at the result of this match. You know, she goes on like, look, everyone knows how terrifying Emu is. If you're foolish enough to accept a challenge like that, instead of, I don't know, targeting Kagetsi, the person who's had 2 solo wins her entire career, you deserve whatever you get. That's on you. Fucking moron. And Malachite gets in her face and tells her, hey, back off. Okay? I don't need your shit right now. Tijuana goes, look, a true competitor wouldn't have let their tag partner throw their hopes away and leave you stranded in a singles division in which you can't compete. And Malachite loses it. And she attacks Tijuana King backstage. And Skull Tabaka comes in to help Tijuana King, her fellow female wrestler in the Hellfire Club, coming to her aid. And Cyan Orion, you know, is kind of skulking her way backstage from what was a very disappointing loss to see Malachite going in on Tijuana King without any context as to what led to this scrap. And you could see Skull Tabaka, Tijuana King clearly getting along very well. There's a clear dynamic between the 2 of them. They have each other's back. And Malachite just does one of those, like, get off of me when Cyan Orion tries to console her in this moment and storms away. And it feels like these 2 tag partners could not be further apart right now. So, yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I'm okay with Malachite winning. It's okay.
I mean, it's an attack segment. It's not really a win.
Yeah. No. I know it's a segment, but I'm okay with it. I'm you know, it's a good segment. And I hope Malachite actually gets a real win now. I hope you don't just keep sending her feeding to the wolves. You know, and Tijuana King, it's aight. It's aight. Well, it's aight.
If it's not clear, it seems like perhaps Malachite and Cyan might be feuding sooner rather than later. It seems they are very divided on the future of Shooting Stars at this moment in time.
Well, then good. And I hope Malachite whoops that ass.
And how do you feel about a potential tag team between Tijuana King and Skull Tabaka, given how well they're working together at the moment?
That I feel better about than the rest of it. That part I like the most because I like the Baker.
Yeah. I want to point out, because I find this to be fascinating, Skull Tabaka right now, I think she's like 3-15 in my company, and she is 2 months away from becoming the face of the company.
Sometimes you're just beloved, okay? Ask Vinland Saga.
Yeah, sometimes you just know how to put on a show. But we move on. We can't stay in this forever because we need to move to a casket match, a blow-off match between Eli Chaos and Joey Smoking Gun Ace. And they've been feuding on and off for the past 6 months now, right? It started as an individual feud. Eli Chaos challenging Joey to a tables match on a weekly episode of Wild Magic back in June, right? Then, outside of 2 Battle Royales, they didn't really face each other until Crown of Madness, which was part of the faction feud that we had at the time between the Eastern Elite and the Southern Sentries. And Eli won that match as well. He and Fuerza de Dragon won a 2v2 versus Joey Smoking Gun Ace and Gavin Smith. Now, granted, that has a lot more to do, I think, with Gavin being the kind of wrestler who prioritizes causing pain over winning. But that certainly was another loss for Joey. Now, Joey did get his revenge at a weekly episode in September, where he got a victory, but that victory in a submission match came after Monty Hendricks from Independence had attacked Eli backstage, and Eli was barely in a position to be able to fight, had tried to forfeit the match, but Joey forced him to duke it out. But Eli says, look, I've got to focus on bigger things right now. The Eastern Elite is feuding against Righteous Retribution. We've had our issues with Independence. We've been spread too thin. And so, you know what, Joey? That trios belt you've got here, it's real cute. But this is singles competition. And I have what it takes to take you down. And Joey, he's not going to let that call go unanswered. He believes he has only grown since Risk It All has become the trios champion and is ready to put that to work tonight. So, who are you picking to win this match?
I am picking none other than Mr. E. Okay, to win this match.
Interesting. You're going Eli.
Yep. I'm a big fan of Joey Smoking Gun Ace. I genuinely big fan. Like what he's doing. It would be cool to watch him go to face of the company status. But something just tells me that the 18-year-old 4-4, okay, who's already on his way to face of the company, this guy could make massive moves for your promotion. And I think that should be rewarded. Plus, I just love the name Eli Chaos. It's Smoking Gun. I know that Walter is definitely more partial to that one. But, you know, I've got Sebastian Chaos. You've got Eli Chaos. It just works for me.
You're absolutely right. I mean, who doesn't love the street champ of the Kiwis? And it certainly goes a long way towards getting the Eastern Elite in a position where they have multiple high-quality wrestlers that people can point to. It's a nice win there. The casket doesn't quite get where I needed it to go.
Man, get good.
4.5 stars. No holy shit moment, even though I've only done what you've been rooting for.
Well, yeah, but I listen. We're coming to the culmination of this event, this first year. I really can't afford to be giving out, you know, any favors, doing anything nice for people right now. I want to be clear that I do not like the idea that you can still win, and I want to watch that hope leave your eyes every single week until it's over.
I hate all of the words you said. And especially in the order in which you said them.
But I love this match.
Well, if you love the match, then I guess I don't care about you rooting for my existential demise. Minor detail, I suppose, at that point. Wow.
Oh, we have fun here, don't we? You and me.
We do. Especially because we move on to a smack talk segment. Gavin Smith is the one that comes to the mic. And Gavin Smith says, look, I know, you all know me as the rabid dog of magically enhanced wrestling. The man who cares so much more about inflicting pain than I do about winning matches. And I'll admit there's some truth to that. Because I believe victory is about more than just getting a win in the standings. It's about getting into your opponent's head and knowing they have to sleep with one eye open because they know you are there ready to hunt them down at any moment. Isn't that right, Bryson Pierce? You coward. Who has refused to wrestle me one-on-one since we started our feud 6 months ago. Come out to the ring and tell me that I've fallen off. Tell me that I have fallen from grace to my face. And Bryson does come out. But instead of a match, he's like, Gavin, calm down, okay? You have real rivals, like Techno Boy. You two have feuded so many times. Fuerza de Dragon, right? Like, you have gone head-to-head with this man. You have no reason to be hung up on me. This whole feud you imagine between the two of us, it's all in your head. I've never said a word to you. You've just imagined this entire feud, this battle between us that just doesn't exist. And Gavin shakes his head like, no. You don't get to do that. I have never forgotten the disdain you showed me back at Bonds of Destiny when you threw me out of the ring in that battle royale. You looked at me like I was pathetic, like I was some animal below you. And so let me tell you right now, Bryson, when you least expect it, I'm coming for you. And I'm going to show you who's really fallen from grace. Gavin's winning that Smack Talk. What do you think?
I love it. I actually love it. This is some great narrative here that you're building.
Yes. I appreciate that, especially because we're going to build right into a match between Savage, Vengeance, and Unlimited. Unlimited, of course, Bryson Pierce's tag team, which he does alongside Evan Zane. And you can tell Bryson's reeling a little bit after that last segment. But as Gavin leaves the ring, he hears Unlimited's music play, and Evan Zane comes down to join him. And Evan just comes over to his friend and is like, look, don't worry about him, man. He's crazy. You know he's crazy. You can't let him get in your head. I've got you. And it is at that moment that Savage Vengeance's music hits. And Jan Sanake and Riku Inoki, who are arguably two of the biggest winners of the Arcane Artificer tournament, come on down to the ring. Both of these guys were considered, solid tag team guys, but guys who are maybe on the cusp of not qualifying for the event in the first place, right? And now, Riku Inoki's on his way to becoming a face of the company. Jan Sanake is just 50 points away. They have earned the right to call themselves one of the highest rated tag teams in this company. And there's a lot of history between these two tags. Evan Zane previously won a one-on-one feud against Jan Sanake. Bryson Pierce won a solo feud against Riku Inoki. And the two tags split a 2-2 feud early in the year, with Savage Vengeance winning the blow-off match, but otherwise battling to a draw. But while the prior feuds have largely been in Unlimited's favor, Savage Vengeance helped the Eastern Elite win that 4v4 match at Hell's Rebuke, and Riku and Jan are ready to get revenge. So the question is Bryson Pierce able to shake off the energy that has been put into this room with Gavin Smith and his threat to attack him at any given moment, so Unlimited can get back to defeating Savage Vengeance the way they have before? Or does Savage Vengeance get their revenge tonight?
Savage Vengeance get their vengeance.
They sure do. And it's a 4.5-star match in this violent street fight. Keeps the feud between the Southern Sentries and the Western Watch going. And it's my first holy shit moment. Finally, Riku Inoki slapping the taste out of Bryson Pierce's mouth before they both start brawling. I will take it. I will admit these scores aren't exactly what I was hoping for, but I am happy that the overall changes seem to be about what I was looking for. I have big plans for Savage Vengeance. Even going into season 2, I've got big plans for that tag team. We will see how Unlimited bounces back and what Gavin Smith has in his back pocket moving forward. But we move on. And look, Sumi Kabaya is just hanging out backstage, going to get a water bottle from the communal fridge when she is attacked by Skull Tabaka, who lowers her shoulder and hits her with an unexpected body slam, knocking Sumi Kabaya into a steel ladder and some construction materials that were left out for backstage renovations. And look, these two technically first feuded back in January, but they've never had a one-on-one match. They've never gotten a win across those matches because they've all been in title matches or qualifier matches in which neither of them got the edge. So far, this second feud that's been resurrected has been very similar, as they've both lost a 3-way match at Crowd of Madness versus Ariana Black and 2 Battle Royales at Pact of Doom and Hell's Rebuke. So Skull Tabaka says, stop dodging me, Sumi. Stop hiding from me because you're afraid of being found out as the coward that you are, as the sham of a wrestler that you truly are. Come meet me in the ring and let's settle this once and for all. And Sumi may be in a daze, but she does agree to a 1v1 match between the two of them. I was originally thinking next week, but given their fatigue levels, it may be the go-home show. We will see. But there will be a match between the two of them. It does get the feud between Skull Tabaka and Sumi Kabaya going hot. And it's a nice level up for my surprise attack segment, so hopefully it'll have a higher peak than 4.25 star in the future.
For sure. Get it?
Yeah,
Get it?
yeah,
Sure, because you got four stars and not 5.
4.25. 4.25. Thank you very much. It's much like me back.
Okay,
in high
but
school,
4.25
the
sure doesn't sound as funny, so it's fine.
I'm just saying, this is back when I was in high school, fighting for every 1/4 inch in my height. It's the same. It matters. It counts, and you can't dismiss it. But we do move on.
Okay, got you.
It is a tag tables match between Magic Missiles and Judgment Day. And look, if you just look at the standings, this is an easy one to predict, right? Magic Missiles are 4-0 against Judgment Day historically. They remain the highest tag team in the Western Watch, but they've had some underwhelming performances lately, right? At the Arcane Artificer tournament, Red Arrow got out in the first round, and Yellow Arrow exited in the second round. And even as a tag, they suffered 3 consecutive defeats against Hall of Ashes. And they were part of the 4v4 match against the Southern Sentries, in which they failed to win at Hell's Rebuke. And as a result, they are reeling at this moment. They're on a 3-loss streak. They need to bounce back and prove themselves and prove that they are still the top tag team in this division, not named Hall of Ashes. But Judgment Day have their own ups and downs. I mean, Bryce Dannenberg is finally finding his stride as part of Risk It All. He has been doing some great work over there, but his trio success means that he and his brother have had less time to practice together. And while River Dannenberg did his part in that 4v4 Hell's Rebuke match, his loss against Jay Xavier in the opening round of the Arcane Artificer tournament left a lot to be desired as well. So you have in one corner a tag team that was previously absolutely dominant, especially against Judgment Day, but they've been struggling both as singles and tag performers in every metric that matters over the last couple months. And you have Judgment Day, a team that was finally starting to put some things together and arguably has one brother on the rise, the best he's ever looked, but they haven't had the moments to rekindle that synergy. Is it enough, Xander? Does Judgment Day have what it takes to beat Magic Missiles tonight?
Hell yeah, they have what it takes to beat Magic Missiles, those fucking randoms. I'm just kidding. They're not randoms. I'm not going to random check them. Even Johnny knows that they exist. But what is a Magic Missile really? Okay, what is it? I don't know.
A miserable pile of secrets.
I do know what Judgment Day is.
Okay, you're taking Judgment Day then.
Judgment Day.
You're wrong. It's Magic Missiles. Of course, it's Magic Missiles. They need a win.
Gross.
They've been wheeling.
Gross. I said what I said. Gross.
Reasserting themselves as key members of the tag division. And look, it's great form. Judgment Day still gains some popularity. Everyone benefits from this in this hot match that we've gotten here. No holy shit moment. Obviously, you're not thrilled that I gave Judgment Day an L, but I would think, given how much you like Blot Out the Sun, that you would at least be able to appreciate why I did what I did here.
I like Blot Out the Sun. Those hacks, those washed Juge members.
Wow. Okay. Something I will have to keep in mind whenever you ask me to make a prediction moving forward. We move on. We have a new gimmick on our hands. What the fuck? I mean, I really only did this because it was free and I was given a production boost. And I guess it was 100% effective.
He's a cute Martian.
3 stars. Yeah, well, look, we saw DJ Vector got his head shaved as a consequence of his loss against Fuerza de Dragon in the semifinals of the Arcane Artificer tournament. And his shaving revealed something unexpected. You know, Sammy Emerald, his tag partner, has that Space Invader theme, right? And the tag team has always been known as Out of This World. But DJ Vector's gimmick was the Betrayer, right? That didn't really make sense, this whole cosmic theme they've got going on. But it turns out that he is indeed a Martian who has to wear his mask to survive in our atmosphere for extended periods of time. But we get some shots in this gimmick package. Like whenever anyone had who did the hair shaving, right? They had to take the mask off for a moment to make that happen. And everyone says he's incredibly cute. Like just the guy, just like that, like kawaii, like anime reaction anytime anyone sees his face, as if there's like a magical energy radiating off of this man. And so he makes a promise. If Out of This World become tag champions, he's going to find a way to remove his mask so everyone can see just how cute he truly is. And isn't that nice at the end of the day?
That is nice.
Yeah.
He's a cute Martian. What an adorable little guy.
Not enough for Fab Cooper to give more than 3 fucking stars, apparently.
Fab, check PayPal.
Ah, my God. What a disaster of a thing. But I guess it's fine. He's still at 100% effectiveness, and now his Out of the World gimmick makes a little bit more sense. Whatever, man. I just work here. So we're getting into a fatal 4-way elimination match, and there's a lot going on. It starts with Fishbone getting introduced to the ring, saying he's proud of how the Eastern Elite did at the Arcane Artificer tournament, especially Fuerza de Dragon, Jay Xavier, and DJ Vector. He's obviously disappointed that he came up short against Arsenico, and he wished they'd been less short-staffed for their match against Righteous Retribution. But he believes in what the Eastern Elite are building, and unlike some faction members he can mention, he knows how to take an L with grace. And it is at this point that Victor Magnus's music hits, because as we all know, a hit dog hollers. And he says that the Southern Sentries have proven their worth in this feud they've got going on with the Western Watch. And while Fishbone may not like his methods, he would never use the kind of excuses that Fishbone is making. This whole like, oh yeah, sure we lost, but we're building up for something better. Fuck that. This guy's of magnanimity. I can't say that word, and I don't know why I wrote it out for this segment. And I can't ever pronounce it. And I knew better. I listened to it multiple times, and I still wrote it down. Magnanimousness, which is not the word, but it's the one I can pronounce.
Magnanimousness. Anemone.
Of course, at this point, Alpha Jackson's music pops off as he calls out Victor's insecurities and how easily he comes to defend himself from accusations that shouldn't bother him. Because a true leader would never care about the opinion of a washed-up has-been like Fishbone. But I suppose Victor doesn't have much more to go from, given how much better the Southern Sentries are when he's not around. And that's when Prince Pretty Pink's music hits. And he jumps in to remind Alpha that the Western Watch are not to be trifled with. And if you think that we're in a point of weakness just because we're fighting Righteous Rebellion, you're going to be sorely disappointed when we prove we can beat you both. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not afraid of anyone in this ring. And I'm ready to take you all on if that's what it takes. And amazingly, everyone here agrees. All 4 of them right now, an elimination match. See which one of them can back up the trash talk that they have just put forward. So the question is, who do you believe in from these 4 talented, top-tier wrestlers, all of whom well on their journey to becoming a face of the company, 2 of which already are. Who do you think gets the win?
I've got to firmly believe that there will be no opportunity for magnanimity here, okay? Because it's going to be Alpha, big boy, honk and talk Jackson, all right? And he's more about brutality than being a magnanimous individual.
That is incredibly true. And he is getting the win.
You're damn right he is.
And it is a 5-star match, which I think I needed here in this moment in time.
I think if you didn't have that 5 stars, I think you're looking at a 4.5 star card.
I think it would have been 4. Well,
nope, I don't think so.
Because I had a couple 5 stars in here.
No, anyway, you had 1.
2. 1.
I just said without that one.
No,
okay. So you do have 2. All right,
yeah.
all right. But then everything else is 4 1/4, 4.5.
4 3/4.
There's more 4.5 there.
We're getting lost in the weeds. After the match, Alpha Jackson gets the crowd in a frenzy. He is soaking in all of the boos from fans who thought Victor or Fishbone would get the last laugh in a feud that means nothing to him. He doesn't give a shit about any of these other battles. He is the best, and he feels he proved it tonight. And Victor promises that this battle for the leadership of the Southern Centuries ends once and for all at Future Sight, while Fishbone and Prince Pretty Pink kind of take a look to themselves and look perhaps a little bit more worried than they'd like to admit, because they know that if the Southern Centuries are upset and Alpha Jackson takes over that faction, who knows how dangerous they'll be. And that's where we leave our card. And it's a 4.75 star card, which I'm going to have to take as a win. I think I had just enough stuff that needed to be dropped. A couple, those 4.5 stars that were always going to hold us back a little bit. But I still like what I put together. I still like the narratives here. My only regret is that I believe that you have min-maxed the fuck out of this, and I'm just not sure if 4.75 is enough anymore. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, my wrestlers still got to wrestle well. There's always a chance.
There is always a chance. Well, with that, we move on, and we actually go to you next, Xander. Because
yes, the most important card of the night.
That is a thing that you can believe, I suppose. Why don't you tell us what it is about tonight's card that makes it the most important card of the night?
Yeah, well, there's a reason why Wednesday Night Triumph is the best weekly show, okay? It didn't necessarily start off that way, but it is now and has been and will continue to be. And, just we're in first, so we get to feel that way. And unfortunately for everyone else, you can either get with it or just be wrong, and that's fine. We're looking at some big matches tonight. You've got play meta pretty solved, and I'm going to show you how that gets done. But then on top of that, pairing it with some big fire matches. Okay. At the end of the day, we know that folks come to see wrestling. Mm-hmm. And while we might have some segments that are here to make sure we get a high score, I'm also here to put out banger after banger after banger. Johnny wants the folks entertained. The Emperor wills it, and it will be done.
We will see if the Emperor's will is fulfilled tonight. Let's jump on into it. And it starts with a new blood package. What are we seeing here?
That's right. You see a new blood package because one of our newer faces in the company, James Sakura, went and requested and said, I want to be the one who does stand tall with some of these other wrestlers. And after looking, after talking, I think there's only one faction that fits me, and that's Bright Future. And of course, the members of Bright Future, after the pretty solid performances that they have put on, with of course Frontline holding that tag belt right now, or I'm sorry, with Matt Payne and Love Hendricks and Regan having just given up their trio belt, looking for new blood. They are more than happy to take on James and try and make a push for something bigger, especially with the talented matches he's put on so far.
First of all, Sinister Tengu is very upset that you cut him out of the trio's belt.
Oh, yeah, Sinister Tengu. Yeah, he's there too.
Freaking awesome. Like, he's a great singles
He's not holding the belt. Yeah, I meant the... I phrased that poorly. That's on me.
This is why you're not narrative champion. We get it. We understand. This is... But look, it's a 4.5-star segment. Obviously, James Sakura joining in for Bright Future helps out that faction. I do like him as a wrestler. You put him through the gauntlet. He emerged not unscathed, but certainly battle-tested. And I think that's going to work out well for Bright Future in the long run.
Yeah.
We move on now, though, to a casket match. Jade Gatlin versus Anastasia. How did we get here?
Yeah, listen. Jade wants to put this feud to rest. Jade's over it. Jade says, I'm a wrestler of the year. I am one of the best wrestlers in the world. Anastasia, you're not at my level. And I'm sick of pretending that you are. Tonight, I'm putting you in the casket, and I am putting this feud, and you'll be sleeping on it 6 feet under. And Anastasia says, oh no, Jade. I know that you are a fantastic performer. I know that you were the women's lightweight champion. But there's no belt around your waist. And honestly, from what I can tell, Wrestler of the Year was kind of a joke. Otherwise, our one and only Emperor would have been the one to win it, not the likes of you.
True.
And so tonight, you think I'm going in that coffin? But it's going to be you. And you know what, Jade? That's not where it stops. Because after I put you in the coffin tonight, I'm going to do it again later this month. And if you're not careful, Jade, I'll bury you for good.
Wow. Some bold words from Anastasia here. I will say you did not say the word blow-off match, which tells me that perhaps this isn't going to go the way that Jade wants it to.
You're dang right. It's going to be Anastasia taking the win, hitting Jade with it, and putting her in that coffin.
Well played. It's a hot match. That 4-star popularity boost for Caskets turns out to be pretty darn good, all things considered. Really well executed on, between two great wrestlers. Look, they're 4-star work rates for a reason. Jade getting a little bit of a popularity boost, at the very least not dropping anything, while Anastasia getting that massive boost. She's now one win like that away from starting her own Face of the Company journey, and I have to imagine she is thrilled with this victory, even if it didn't lead to a holy shit moment and she was forced to bleed her own blood.
Yeah, she bled her own blood, but listen, Jade's a fantastic wrestler. This match was always going to be a banger. Absolutely. And they will see each other again.
And I'm sure that they will, and hopefully it will be just as much of a banger as this match. Wait a second. No, I hope it's worse, I guess. I don't know how to be the face and want your demise. And I did tell you this off camera, but I really do wonder if I'm capable of becoming the person I need to be to root against you in these moments. Like, this is the real, like, fighting the darkness, but for our cast.
I wish you the best of luck in reclaiming your soul after you become the bad guy, just to try and shit talk me.
How dare you? How fucking dare you? We move on. We got Anastasia's here in the ring. She's got Asahi with her.
That's right. Asahi, seeing the performance that Anastasia just put on, knows that she needs to come out here and represent her. She says, listen, I am getting all of the most talented women in this promotion together. You may not see eye to eye about faction. You may not see eye to eye about who should be in charge, but I want it understood that women deserve the representation in this company that they have built. They are the backbone of Glory of Legends, and I will be here standing behind you, helping you, rise to that next echelon until your greatness is recognized or until you become the Empress. The thing I want to see happen most.
Wow.
And Anastasia is more than happy to join the likes of Asahi, given that Asahi has represented all of the most talented women thus far. And now Anastasia feeling that she's recognized at a level even that of Emily Everett, which just 3 months ago would have been a completely alien to her. And now she's getting strong enough. She's getting in those matches to where she can be considered at that level for the first time in her career.
I mean, look, it was a massive win against Jade Gatlin. No doubt about that. Easy to understand why the fans are hyped about her taking on Asahi King as the manager. It turns out reveal manager is a real good way to get 5 stars anytime you want. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Maybe one day I'll have a manager. Who can say? But congrats on your guaranteed 5 stars, my friend. And hey, look, another one. We've got a legendary.
Oh, hey, look.
Just to mix it up, keep everyone on their toes.
Yeah. You definitely won't see this 2 more times in this set of weeklies for sure. But yeah, let's be real. Hueso de Cabra, right? Talented male wrestlers that are face oriented. And when he looks at this pool, he sees a guy in Matt Robinson that he thinks is underrated. He's come out for Brigantia and said good things about Serpentine, and he likes Coda, but he thinks Matt Robinson is slept on. And he wants to come out here and set the record straight and say Matt Robinson is the next face of the company. And I mean that literally. The next person that will become a face of the company will be Matt Robinson, and he is joining my echelon of my nation of superstar faces that might not be all aligned in terms of how they perceive, Glory of Legends. They might not all be in the same faction, but we have one goal, and that is to unseat a face in charge. And these men together will make it happen.
Well, there you go. Hueso de Cabra, he has endorsed a whole bunch of faces so far, and I imagine he'll keep endorsing more over the course of the next couple weeks. I mean, it is the right thing to do tactically. It is correct, and it is rewarded. So I guess good for you, buddy. But here, tell me about this tag elimination match, because that's what I'm excited for.
Yes. All right. You've got Burgundy Bandits and Flame Regiment, okay? 2 very notable heel tags that want to make their name. Now, obviously, Burgundy Bandits, they are 2-0. They're led by Cassidy, followed by Xander Cage. It is the 2 most talented wrestlers in Kanoto Karius. But they have kind of shrugged responsibilities off to the very, very powerful new tag that they together collected, being Vinland Saga, winning that core blow-off of the what's it called? I'm sorry, the feud. I cannot think of the name of the feud. My brain is not working. What is it called?
Feud?
Headhunting feud. Thank you. That won that headhunting feud that brought them over. Mm-hmm. Well, they say, listen, Flame Regiment is one of the threats to Vinland Saga. And while we're not out here trying to get the tag belt, that's not our goal. We want to make sure that Burn It All Down have no opportunity. And Wijaya and General Hayashima, if you think you're good enough to go up against Vinland Saga, well, you have to go through us first. And Flame Regiment love this. They say, oh, we're very happy you took this match tonight. We're going to embarrass you for Executioner Goro. Cassidy, you are in a current feud with our faction. You think that your tiny, insignificant little group of bandits can fight us? They can fight Burn It All Down, the most terrifying faction that has ever existed in Glory of Legends? That's adorable. Well, now you're going to get beat by us, Flame Regiment, inarguably not the most talented wrestlers in Burn It All Down. And after we're done embarrassing you, we're going to move on and embarrass your entire faction by taking that cash-in contract from Vinland Saga.
Fascinating. So Flame Regiment saying not that they seem to understand both where they are at, but also believe that that still puts them well above Kanoto Karius. I mean, you've pushed Cassidy in particular to the moon, so I have to imagine the Burgundy Bandits keep that train on rolling tonight, huh?
No, it's going to be Flame Regiment.
Whoa! I couldn't have seen that coming with the notes that I have next to me. What gives Flame Regiment the edge tonight?
Listen, Flame Regiment they've been practicing and they've been in the bigger matches. Burgundy Bandits have been wrestling in predominantly solo matches for a couple months now, and Cassidy's fixation has been on solo. So him and Xander just aren't on the same page that they were on when they were getting their wins before. And Flame Regiment being in these tag, belt and tag contender matches, they've had to put in the work to get better. And so it is going to be them securing their win.
Yeah, and look, it starts a nice feud between Burgundy Bandits and Flame Regiment. It gets the hot feud between Wijaya and Cassidy, which is fun to play around with in that singles moment. And you get your first holy shit moment of the night as Wijaya reverses Cassidy's finisher. So very nice to see there. It is only 4.5 stars, but right now you'd be dropping a 4.25 and 4.5. So I don't think you're bothered too much by that.
Nope.
We move on to a main event package. Oof. Producer Minus, Tucker's brother, check, PayPal. Appreciate you, buddy. What was this package focused on specifically when it comes to tonight's main event?
Yeah, listen, Maricela and Carson have been going at it for a bit, okay? And this is really just reminding folks that Maricela is excruciatingly talented. And there's now whispers that she is way better than this Return to Glory belt. And the question becomes, for the fans, is Maricela going to absolutely dominate Carson once again? Or is she starting to set her sights on other stuff for Burn It All Down? And that's going to give Carson the face, a guy who has been working so hard for his, wins and just hasn't come by them, that maybe this is his time to shine. He is the perfect guy, the most deserving man to get the return. It's going to come down to who performs better in that match and makes it happen.
Well, it's going to be a fascinating match. I don't think the score there reflects how hype that final match of the night is going to be. But the good news for you is that I think you're about to get a bounce back, because we have a new segment type tonight that sure looks strong. And it is a legendary beatdown.
That's right.
How did this happen?
Yeah. So, Hueso de Cabra. So, I'm trying to read what it says.
He comes out to the ring, thanking him for welcoming him back, and Black Bull tries to beat down the legend. This is Black Bull doing the attack, which is not how we read it earlier, but is good.
It isn't, but we'll take it. I like this better. Mm-hmm. So Hueso de Cabra is out there thanking the fans. Okay, and he comes back out and says, listen, I'm not done. I'm building a group of wrestlers that will be here to perform and make the miracle happen of unseating Johnny Hangtime. And in that moment, Executioner Goro's music kicks in. And he steps out from the top. Mm-hmm. And all you see him do is move his arm forward. And that is when Black Bull comes sprinting out down into the ring and spears Hueso de Cabra in the midsection and drops him on the mat and starts to mercilessly beat him.
Wow.
And Executioner Goro says, Hueso, Johnny's mine. I will be the one to unseat him. And if you think his reign of terror has been bad, it pales into what I have in store for all of the little boys that you've put together.
Wow. Some terrifying stuff coming from the Executioner. It is an 85% effectiveness roll. I imagine maybe because Black Bull only has 3 charisma, but you would think that Executioner
2 charisma
is the manager. 2, yeah. You'd think Execution Agora would help with that because I know he brought him in for exactly that reason. But, sometimes the roles just don't go quite the way that you'd like. It's still a very good segment. I like this segment, and I look forward to seeing if you use it in the future. Just not fully the score I think you were hoping for tonight.
Yeah, it's all good.
Fair enough. We move on then to, and I got to be honest, I've been a little bit playing around with the idea of being a hater at various points tonight, because this legendary endorsement reveal manager wombo combo is just always going to keep happening, and there's only so often I can get hype about it. But this match, I was genuinely excited when you put it on the card. So tell us how we got here.
Yeah, listen, we've got Castle Crashers and Crushing Blow making a return in a tag elimination match. Castle Crashers have recently come back for a couple of tag matches, nothing too crazy, but Crushing Blow have not wrestled together in a while. That being said, you have one of the most notable tags in For the People up against one of the most notable female tag in Glory of Legends at all, who also represent Conquest or Death, being Ume Amiko and Cordosaru. It's just a bunch. I mean, you have over 4,000 popularity right here. Mm-hmm. And these wrestlers are about to throw down and try to impress on behalf of their factions. They're essentially as a rebuke to the current tag division, saying, listen, the tag division as it stands only gets to operate the way it does because the greatest tags in each faction aren't wrestling. And we're here to remind people tonight. We as Castle Crashers, listen, we respect what Frontline have done. They've had some very hype matches. But we haven't wrestled in a while. We had one bad night against the members of Juge, and it fundamentally changed everything about this tag division. And tonight, we're not taking on any of the contenders because even they are beneath us. We want someone real. We want someone we know can wrestle. And Johnny, here's your chance. Try and embarrass us once again. We dare you. And so even though Castle Crashers call out Johnny himself for Hangtime Empire, for Johnny and Phil to come and rise to the occasion, Johnny says, you're right, Castle Crashers. You are a talented tag. And I even agree with you about what you're saying about this tag division. It's a bit of a joke right now. But you don't just get to call me and Phil out. No. There's two women here that will be more than enough match for you. And Crushing Blow come out ready to absolutely tear the castle walls down.
Man, it is. I mean, I love everything that you're building with this. I do think this is a fascinating match to try to predict, because if it wasn't an elimination match, I'd say Castle Crashers. Just they have way more experience fighting as a tag. Even if they're on a loss streak recently, they understand how to work together. Crushing Blow largely have been apart. But it's an elimination match, which means each of these wrestlers' individual strengths could pay big dividends tonight. Who did you give the win to, buddy?
Chase, I know you and I talked about this, but I'm going to have you do me a favor here. I need you to click the funny button.
We're clicking the funny button, and Crushing Blow gets the win. That's a 4.5-star match. A nice boost. It does make the feud, it looks like, go hot between these two, which is great to see. It's a hot match in general. No holy shit moment here, but Crushing Blow getting their second tag victory. And hey, maybe this is a sign that these two should be in the tag title match for the upcoming pay-per-view.
Very well could happen. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we move on, and I know you're looking for a big score from this one because this is the Return to Glory Championship. You highlighted it a little bit earlier. Maricela Reyes, Carson Gold. Is there anything else you want to add, things that people should be watching out for in this Iron Man match?
No, listen, it's true that, Maricela and Carson have been going at it, and Carson's got to put up a big performance tonight to upset her, especially given that it's a weekly. It's not impossible, this is, again, the one belt that has changed hands, a bit suddenly, so anything can happen. But Carson very notably must do something exceptional tonight if he wants to take this belt off of Maricela.
Yeah, it will need something exceptional. And look, he has been exceptional in the past, right? He won that first battle royale that set such a tone for the early stages of this company. You can see where he struggled recently, right? You can see Carson struggling to find his place and find his opening. And I understand wanting to come at Maricela. She's had the belt for 3 months. Maybe, some people have poked some holes in her armor, but I gotta be honest, the baddest has lived up to that reputation, and I imagine she's not slowing down anytime soon.
Not tonight. It is Maricela winning the match.
Wow.
Oof.
4.25 star.
That's rough. You're happy about that. Shut up. That is rough, though. That's a rough score. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, look,
that's a pretty low roll.
This is one of the weird things, because if I wanted to do the face thing I would do for Walter or Eduardo, I'd be like, oh man, that's crazy given the work rate. That's such a low roll. What a shame. But it would obviously sound patronizing knowing our situation. So I don't know what to say outside of not what I expected. Oof. That's for sure.
Yep.
And 1 point away from going silver too.
Yeah, that's toxic. That's toxic.
That is tough in a lot of ways. It is a 4.75 star card. So even with all of that going wrong, and I think a lot went wrong tonight, if you're talking about doubling a 4.25 star, the low roll on the main event package, the slight low roll on the legendary beatdown, like, there was a lot here that could have been improved upon, and you still tied me as far as our score for this first weekly, which says so much about how strong some of these segments you've uncovered. And also, shout out to Anastasia.
Shout out to Anastasia for that win, because she definitely came in hot tonight. I don't think I get the 4.75 without that 5.25. So
no, that was a big one, and and well deserved there. Well, buddy, I mean, if nothing else, I think we can both agree it's a little bit more fun for us to stay close for a bit, right? This keeps things tense between the two of us. There's excitement from a narrative perspective.
I want to do goofy matches, and I can't do them until I know I'm going to win.
Oh, man. I love and hate the words that you just said, but I get it. Mm-hmm. I understand. Mm-hmm. But you know who doesn't give a crap about either of our rivalry here? It's Eduardo. Because Eduardo has kept scoring points. He won the 7th pay-per-view. He won the 9th pay-per-view. He has won the 11th pay-per-view, and he tied for the lead at the 9th set of weeklies. So we know he can do it anytime, anywhere. He is proof that you do not need to min-max all of the things that you and I have traditionally min-maxed in order to be a champion. You just have to not be a pure company. Really, that seems to be the number one decider in a lot of these situations. But he's got a card for us, Xander. And here's the thing that I think should scare both of us. He's learned about the good segments now. He's
true.
Finally, having gotten his 60 production packages, he never has to do one of those again. He doesn't have to worry about being held back the way that my gimmick package or your main event package was. He's only doing the good ones. And as a result, I think we could be in for one heck of a show. So let's see what he has in store. It starts with a reveal manager segment. And Amber Manning, she basically just comes out to the ring and is like, look, I'm so proud of the work that I put in to become your new Campeonato Cuyan championship. You know, Suki Akiyama, she's a great competitor, and I knew I had to do everything I could if I wanted to have any chance against her, which is why I turned to the best of the best. And we got a little bit of a training montage backstage, and it turns out this entire time, Amber Manning has been training with El Tigre de Neon. She has picked up some core lessons from the School of the Crab, accentuated that, worked it in to her own style, and it has helped her become a champion. And now that she has won the belt, El Tigre de Neon is here in the ring talking about how proud he is of the work that Amber Manning put in and how much she deserves this belt. And as a result, he gets a 5-star segment.
Good for him.
I like El Tigre de Neon going up with Amber Manning, and perhaps we'll see some more about that later on tonight. But for now, we move on to an epic brawl. Oh no. What happened?
Oops.
This is... I mean, Philip Keller got a half a star on this. What the fuck happened?
You know what? It's because Adriano Cicelli was in there and he sucks.
I mean, that is what Requiem said, right? Like, he and Adriano knew that they were both in the main event tonight, so Requiem planned to ambush him backstage, get in his face. He started talking shit, making fun of the guitar and his lame Italian accent. And Adriano snapped, and it came to blows in what escalated into a full-blown brawl backstage, with the refs eventually having to separate the two and telling them to save it for the ring. And for the life of me, I can't imagine. Maybe Requiem's just a 4-3? But even then, that's a low roll.
I think, aren't they both 4-3s?
I thought Adriano's a 4-4. We'll find out in a little bit. We can
Either way,
charisma.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
not from a score perspective, just because I really do hate Adriano Cicelli that much.
Wow. But Requiem doesn't deserve that. You like Requiem. And Requiem has been taking the lead in this feud, so...
Requiem's okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
I see. The enemy of your enemy is not always your friend. I understand. But we do have to move on from that low roll. Just a reminder that even these top-tier segments that have gotten nothing but 5 stars previously, nothing is guaranteed in this world. And also in the game. But anyway, we've got quite the match in front of us. Brady Velasquez versus James Parker in a street fight. Brady Velasquez recently won the #1 contender slot at Dying Light and is on cloud 9. This has been his moment, right? He's got El Arcangel de Fuego in his corner. He's on his way to becoming a face of the company. The future is bright for the dawn of Lucha Libre. But James Parker, he's looking at this and he feels like he's been underrated recently. He's much better as a wrestler than his opportunities would indicate. Like, yes, he's taken a lot of losses, but they're because he's always in these crazy multi-man matches. He never gets a chance to just take someone on one-on-one. And he looks at Brady Velasquez, a man that he lost a feud to back in April. And he says, we deserve to be in the same conversations. We deserve to be like you are not better than me, Brady. You might have more points than me right now on the popularity scale, but you are not better than me. And I'm here to prove it tonight. So this is not a match that takes away Brady Velasquez's #1 contender slot, though we will note that face of the company is hanging on there right now. But James is going to do his best to prove he belongs. Xander, do you think he's successful, or does Brady take care of business tonight?
I think Brady takes care of business tonight.
You believe in Brady. And I get it. I would as well.
Oh, well then in that case, I hope James Parker wins and knocks Brady from being a face of the company.
James Parker does win, but he does not knock Brady from being face of the company. It is
close.
A 4 1/4 star match. Restarts that feud. It is fascinating, right? I mean, this is the thing about the Campeonato de Luchasaurus. All these guys, multi-man matches all the time. Anyone can win at any moment, which means the now 4-15 James Parker feuding against the 4-15 Brady Velasquez. And next time I have to imagine James is going to ask for that #1 slot to be on the line, because if he can beat him twice, why shouldn't he be a #1 contender for the title? That's a question Brady's going to have to ask himself, and he's going to have to go back to the locker room, talk to El Arcangel de Fuego, and try to figure out what went wrong tonight.
Yeah.
But for now, we move on. It's a new leadership segment, and this also did not work the way that Eduardo was hoping for. the Rising Sun come out to the ring, and Kenji Ryota says it's time for someone else to take leadership, and it's Ryuji Sakota. Now, a cynic might say that Ryuji Sakota was always the plan, and Eduardo got the names mixed up, and that's what happened here. But I would say, as someone who cares about the lore, the real reason is that Kenji Ryota realizes that Ryuji Sakota has the opportunity to shine, right? Ryuji just earned the opportunity to start his journey to become a face of the company. And he is the singles competitor who can keep all of his focus on getting himself and Rising Sun as far as he can. And I think Kenji recognizes that. He recognizes he's getting older in years, right? He's 41 years old, I believe. And he needs to set up the future of Rising Sun to go on strong without him. And that's what he does in this segment. The fans don't seem to be in, and I imagine it's because a lot of these wrestlers are 4-3s rather than 4-4s.
They suck. It's okay. You can just say it. They blow.
You want to say that about Daiwick Damerlin, my friend?
Daiwick's okay. We said a lot. I can be talking about the others and not Daiwick.
Wow.
I didn't say all of them suck.
Well, I would say that it's a little bit of an unfortunate role here, but everyone at Rising Sun gets a little bit of overness, and perhaps we'll see some more as we go on from this faction later tonight. But Ryuji Sakota, having just been crowned the faction leader, is immediately going to defend that title against the faction leader of Carnival of Carnage. You know, Jason Styles wants to defend his faction against a top-tier Rising Sun member, especially given the faction feud between these two groups. Rising Sun see themselves as a force of good in this company versus the Carnival of Carnage with Psycho Circus and Jason Styles in their corner, seemingly looking to cause havoc whenever they can. But both factions ultimately have a lot to prove, right? When you can compare them to the rise of Eclipse and groups like La Sagrada Familia, both of these teams need to do their best to put their faction back on top. And Ryuji, he's currently in the lead, right? Even before he was the faction leader, he got the first win in a street fight back in August, and he's now on his way to becoming that face of the company. So the question is, Xander, do you believe Jason Styles has a trick up his sleeve and has what it takes to get this win tonight?
No, I believe Ryuji Sakota just wins. I want Jason Styles to win. He's the clown, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
but
Jason
it's going to be a Ryuji.
Give him a holy shit moment.
I'll heavily consider it.
Jason is winning this match.
Oh man,
because,
okay.
As always, Eduardo's answer to, but he could drop is nuh-uh.
Well, okay, but I wanted Ryuji Sakota to drop.
But nuh-uh.
Okay.
It's a 5-star match. A holy shit moment. You did give it to him.
Yeah. Jason Styles earned it, man. He's the GOAT.
2 minutes in Ryuji Sakota's finisher. That is indeed worth a holy shit moment and a very nice match here. And we move on to a legendary endorsement. And El Tigre de Neon points out Kenji Ryota. And he says, look, I appreciate that you stepped up when this faction needed a leader after Caden Lee was taken away to the House of Hardcore. You put in the work. And you haven't always been rewarded for that. You have your tag matches alongside Matthew No, but you have not always been given opportunities to compete for the tag belt. You certainly haven't been given enough opportunities and screen time to prove yourself as a singles competitor, and I don't think you've gotten the love you deserve because you've been so busy taking care of everyone else. And I think you made a great call putting Ryuji in a position to shine. A lot of people would have let their ego get in the way. But you did what was best for this faction. And I appreciate you. And I think that is what it is going to take for someone like you to become a true champion. I'm going to give everything I've got to help get you there. And that's a hot segment. And that gets the hype boost for legendary endorsements in the future. And it's a nice 5 stars. How do you feel about that one here, Xander?
Love legendary endorsements. Everyone should do them. Oh, wait.
God damn it. If only I had had any way to know in the year plus of my first campaign that existed.
Should have gotten good.
You know, we all learn things in this world.
I'm just saying. I distinctly remember someone being like, there's really no value in recruiting retired wrestlers, legends, and me being like, damn, I guess I just scuffed my draft, and then finding out much later.
There were always return segment like artifacts, but it just seemed so unlikely. And lo, we find ourselves in the second half of fucking around and finding out. And here we stand.
We stand.
You know, with all this focus on Kenji, it's easy to forget Matthew No, the other half of Here and Now. And he is here as a singles performer tonight because Gambler has called him out to the ring. Gambler, of course, won the last feud these two had 2-1, beating Matthew No in a street fight at Deadly Gambit. But this is not some, like, hatred between these two, right? Compared to some other rivalries in this company, these are people who feel like they bring out the best of each other, as much as they hate to admit it. Like, Matthew No would never go out and gamble with a guy like Gambler, and Gambler would find a guy like Matthew No very boring, pedestrian perhaps, outside of the ring. But in the ring, they've got a respect for each other. They know what they're each capable of, and they know that if they're going to push themselves to the top, if they're going to take the next step in their own careers, it's going to come from the two of them bringing out the best in each other again. And so here we are, two wrestlers, Matthew No and Gambler, looking to push themselves and each other. Who do you think's got the edge?
Yeah, I can't root for Gambler. Matthew No. I refuse to root for Gambler.
You can't.
I refuse.
Gambler.
Nope.
You were not born a gambling man. Which is good because Matthew No's winning this match.
Okay, good.
It is 3 3/4 star. Unfortunate. They are both 3-star workers, but a huge hit. Well, nothing that Gambler can't handle, actually. That's fine. Just an unfortunate score here at the end of the day. A negative effect on the street fight, which we have learned it's not because of a cap, because I did 16 of them in a row and never.
Yeah, and I had done entire cards with street fights and gotten all positives, so it's definitely. There's no cap. That's not a thing.
Just no cap, indeed. Leading to a, sometimes you get an unlucky roll. And Gambler, I think, is probably as unhappy as Eduardo is after this segment. And you see, after this match, I should say, and you see him come out and the House of Hardcore coming to give him some love. But what's that behind them? It's the Carnival of Carnage. And before the House of Hardcore can truly realize what's going on, Jason Styles and the Carnival of Carnage come out to attack the House of Hardcore. It turns out Gambler originally joined the House of Hardcore because he saw it as an opportunity, a place where he could, he believed he would be able to shine and polish his talent further. But the House of Hardcore, they're on the decline. Even after bringing in Poker of Pain and Amatriadora Anderson, all that's happened is he's watched those wrestlers get worse while getting more and more of El Arcangel de Fuego's time. And so as a result, he's done. He's moved on to a new faction that he believes is going to sharpen him into the wrestler he's meant to become. And this is much more what he wanted to see. 90% effectiveness, still a 5-star segment. It gets a treachery feud between Cameron Johnson and Gambler. And I know for a fact that there is a total war feud between these two factions. So Carnival of Carnage going up from Rep 5 to Rep 6. House of Hardcore coming down from Rep 7 to Rep 6. but it's going to be the result of this faction feud we now have in mind that will determine which of these two ends up coming out on top. How do you feel about what we just saw in front of us?
Feeling good. I mean, I feel good. Switching sides do be like that.
Yeah, you like seeing a faction betrayal like this?
I love faction betrayals.
Mm-hmm. I know you're a big fan of the Carnival of Carnage, so I had a feeling you would be happy to see Psycho Circus and Jason Styles, and I guess Caden Lee too, get some wins. So
yeah,
good for him. Unfortunate for the House of Hardcore, they'll be looking to get revenge in the very near future. We move on to an I Quit match between Pink Arrow and Juno Ripshaw. And Pink Arrow is mad. She doesn't feel like she's had the same opportunities as Juno Ripshaw, and she wants to make Juno admit that Pink Arrow is the better wrestler. And look, after 9 losses in a row, I'd be mad too if I was Pink. This is her looking for an outlet to vent all of these frustrations that have been building up. And Juno just reminds her, Juno's the one in the League of Extraordinary Ladies. She already proved that she's more deserving of opportunities like this. But if Pink Arrow wants to waste her time and embarrass herself in a match like this, Juno's happy to take her on. So, does Pink Arrow snap her 9-match loss streak? Or does Juno Ripshaw remind everyone why she's part of the League of Extraordinary Ladies?
Juno Ripshaw sucks. Pink Arrow all day.
Wow, no love for Mrs. XPW, huh?
Correct.
Well, it worked out for you because Pink Arrow is winning this match. It's 4 3/4 stars. Nice to see Pink Arrow finally getting a win again. Boosts both of them up because I imagine that's a hot match, and you gave them the holy shit moment. Pink Arrow putting Juno Ripshaw through 100 thumbtacks. Ooh, I don't know. We've seen that one before. That's gotta hurt. And it does level up this gimmick. It is now a gold star gimmick, and that's going to give it a further rating boost in the future, which I think is exactly the stat that Eduardo was hoping for. So congratulations to him for that, and congratulations to Pink Arrow for the win. We've got one more segment tonight. It's a new blood segment. 4.5 stars, Vince Bailey. I guess check your PayPal. But as you probably expected from the events of earlier tonight, Amber Manning has joined the Rising Sun. She's taken her training lessons to heart. She wants to get closer to El Tigre de Neon and all of the people within Rising Sun. But you're going to note there is another very important name here. Shichiro Ishihara. Ishihara, of course, the Campeonato Andino champion, the highest ranked wrestler in this promotion. And he gets on the mic and says he believes he has what it takes to take this faction to greatness. The Rising Sun are a faction on the rise that would deeply benefit from having the most prestigious fighter in this company. And with Amber Manning and the victory she just got, we have a strong female singles competitor, a great female tag team, multiple great individuals within Rising Sun, and I believe that I can lead them to victory. And there's a little bit of a murmuring there with that whole leader thing. I mean, we just saw Ryuji Sakota get named leader, and here's Shichiro Ishihara kind of assuming that he'll get that role. It does increase the popularity for Amber and Shichiro. Not that either of them needed more popularity, but they'll certainly take it. And a huge boost for Rising Sun. They are going all the way to Reputation 7. How do you feel about this addition here, Xander?
I feel about it.
You just feel?
I feel strongly.
You feel strongly in any particular direction, or just feeling?
I hate Amber Manning. I've been clear about that, so.
But Shichiro Ishihara?
Nope.
Well, then, we have to move on, unfortunately.
Oh, God, I can't wait for this match. Please tell me a Requiem Avila absolutely brutalizes Adriano.
Well, look, Requiem successfully provoked the fight with Adriano earlier in the show, even if the Epic Brawl didn't go quite the way that we expected.
It went fantastic.
And he has largely won this rejuvenated feud, right?
He's a legit murderer. I'm just saying. I'm hoping for a legit murder right now.
When this started, he was like 0-11, 0-12. He has won 3 times
Uh-huh.
against Adriano Ciccelli. And now Adriano, as far as he's concerned, that just Requiem just proved that, yeah, everything I said about Adriano's rise being bullshit was absolutely correct. But Adriano did finally get a win recently. He did finally get the upper hand over Requiem in, I believe, a street fight match. And he's hoping that means that the guitar-playing Italian can finally turn things around.
No. Requiem Avilo legit murders him right now. Adriano Ciccelli dies.
Man,
In the back of the ambulance. Dead.
that would be a shocking injury report if the game was just like Adriano died. I don't think that's going to happen, but you're lucky enough that Requiem is getting the win. 4.5 stars. An unfortunate roll there, I think. But still a solid performance overall. No holy shit moment, so seems like you were a little stingy on that, given how much you hate Adriano Ciccelli. But at the end of
skill
the day,
issue.
Look, it's a nice win for Requiem. I think it's a good note to end the night on. We will see if Adriano is capable of bouncing back at the next pay-per-view. But for now, check that out. That's a 4.75 star. It is as tight at the top of the standings as you can get. You have 3 competitors, all with 4.75s, all with clear places in which they can improve over the next 2 weeklies.
Yeah, I just need to roll better.
I mean, Eduardo's feeling the same thing, and I certainly think I had some segments that could have gone in a different way. I did end up winning on the hype perspective, which is going to net me a bunch of fans. But again, hype does not matter for the weeklies. We don't do tiebreakers because it's too hard to kind of calculate across 3 different weekly shows. It is all about these ratings, and it's a 3-way tie regardless of what those fan numbers say, and regardless of the fact that mine is the higher number. So, Xander, any final thoughts on this week's card before we kind of close things out here tonight?
Yeah, it's bullshit. I should have gotten 5 stars and put you on notice, but it's okay. The game just wanted to let you live and breathe for another week, and that's fine. Next week, I start to put the nail in your coffin.
Well, you certainly can try, and you will try, and every now and then it does work for you. So I can't let that go without notice, but I'm certainly going to do everything I can to keep up here. I know Eduardo will as well, and I hope that all of you lovely viewers will be there to see it. If so, please give us a like, comment, subscribe, do all those things that everyone already tells you to do and that you've heard a million times anyway. We always love hearing from you, love hearing, who are your favorite promotions? What are the stories that are connecting with you? What do you want to see at the Gold pay-per-view, in which everyone is going to be putting everything on the line for one last push, for one big final moment? Definitely let us know. But of course, you can find me at Chase Walsonar on bsky.social. I'm also on Twitter, but I'm trying to be there less. But if you reach out to me, that might be the one good thing that Twitter does. So you can find me there. Xander, where can the next nice people at home find you?
You can find me on all socials at Tentacle Coach doing the League of Legends coaching. But if you would also please go check out at CUNY BC Esports. That's Brooklyn College Esports. A bunch of college students doing big things in the space, getting wins, just making esports look cool.
Absolutely. Look, Brooklyn College deserves all the love. I can talk hate about Glory of Legends if I need to, though I am trying to fight my worst instincts and avoid doing so. But regardless, I will always give Brooklyn College some love because they always deserve it. Thank you so much for watching tonight's episode. We'll be back in a couple days with the next set of weeklies, but until then, goodbye, Internet.